answers. And so feel free to put any questions that come up while we're speaking in there, and I'll be more than happy to pop in and answer those for you. So just wanted to welcome you to Iona College. The Educational Leadership Program is under the Graduate School of Arts and Science at Iona College. And I will continue with the presentation. I know we have a couple more joining us, but like I said, for the interest of time, I just did want to get started. And so the MS that we're speaking about specifically tonight is in educational leadership. And so this is really exciting for the education department at Iona. It's really exciting for Iona College in general, as Dr. Leipold will speak to you after I talk a little bit about the program and the history of Iona. But this program is being reinstated. So we did have it previously at Iona, and backed by popular demand, students really feel a need for this program and want to move on in education and move up into administrative positions. So we're really excited about this program. I know I myself am very excited about it. As an education student at Iona, I'm currently in the MST program. So for those of you who were Iona alum or went through Iona for your graduate work, you could see, and understand how I'm so excited, because I definitely have this program in mind for the future after I get certified and have a few years of teaching under my belt. So really excited to talk about it, tell everybody about it. And I'm really excited to have Dr. Leipold here with us this evening, because she will be overseeing the program, and I'll give her a proper introduction and let her speak to you about the program momentarily. I first just did want to speak a little bit about the history of Iona College, about the history and mission, just in case you're not familiar. And so the history and the mission of Iona College is that it was founded by Edmund Rice, the Edmund Rice Christian Brothers, back in 1940. And so back then, the purpose was to foster intellectual inquiry, community engagement, and appreciation for diversity. It was an all-male college when it was first founded. And so we have, grown many years from that, since 1940, but we still really do hold those values and the purpose near and dear to our heart here at Iona. Even if you come on campus or you're familiar with Iona, the community kind of lives and breathes this mission and these values. So I did just want to mention that. It's a very diverse campus, people of all faiths, people of all races and religions. So we're really happy to have this really close-knit community that still holds true to these values and the mission that the Christian Brothers founded back in 1940. So I just wanted to give you a little brief history. So the Master of Science in Educational Leadership, I just want to briefly talk about a few of the requirements for acceptance. So my name is Lisa Tufariello, and I am the Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions for Arts and Science, and I oversee the admissions and application process for all applicants into the education programs. So I would be the contact person for your application and any admission questions in terms of getting you admitted and enrolled. And so Dr. Leipold will be overseeing the program. So if you have more specific questions about the program, about the courses in the program, those would be best directed to Dr. Leipold. But if you have any questions about the application, when do you need to get it in? How can you get your transcript to me? Any questions about that, then feel free to reach out to me, and I will put both of our contact information up so you can take a screenshot. And in case you need any information, you can always just feel free to reach out and contact us, and we'll be more than happy to get back to you about that. Just wanted to put this out there. I am recording, so I said I put record on the Zoom. So if you have any friends, colleagues, coworkers who maybe might be interested in the educational leadership program, but necessarily weren't able to attend this evening, feel free to shoot me an email and reach out, because I can send them the program. I can send them the recording of the information session tonight, which may be helpful to them. So just wanted to put that out there, just in case you knew anybody who was like, oh, that sounds great, I wish I could attend. And so the requirements for the program of educational leadership are the following. You do need to possess a New York State teaching certificate, so do need to be certified in New York State. And then you would need a minimum of 3 years of full-time paid approved teaching or supervisory or administrative or pupil personnel service. But I did want to just put out there that if you're close to this or maybe don't have 3 years or not really sure, or have a question about if you meet these qualifications, feel free to reach out to Dr. Leipold and she'll be more than happy to get back to you, because we don't want you to get discouraged if you think you don't meet it, when we could possibly work with you and just see if you do meet the requirements. So if you're close or you're not really sure what qualifies as it, feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to answer that for you. And so I also did want to just talk to you a little bit about what it's like being an education student at Iona College. The kind of beauty of me being in the role of helping students apply and also being a current education student in the program is that I can personally speak to the program and about being in the classroom and the education faculty, because I'm experiencing it firsthand. It's, I think, more effective that way to kind of inform students and just let them know what their experience will be like when you're, have been through the program or going through the program. So I mentioned it at the beginning of the presentation, but I'm currently enrolled in the MST program. And so when I was reading these quotes that I will share with you in just a moment from education students and education alumni, I 100% agree with them. And then, even more so, like, words really can't express just how dedicated and caring the education faculty are at Iona College. And so they really walk with you every step of the way. And that was the first quote from one of our students. They said their advisor and faculty in the education department who will walk with you every step of the way. And it's so true. From when I first was interested in education and went into the education department, I immediately felt like family, just kind of that I belong there. And I think those who have been through an Iona education program know exactly what I'm talking about, and alumni know as well. So also, students really noted that they love the small class size. You really get personal attention from the faculty. You get to know everybody in your classroom. That will especially be true of the educational leadership program, as it is a new program and as it's coming to its new start this semester. You'll really get individual personalized attention and flexible scheduling with the classes. Most classes are on the weekends, and Dr. Leipold will speak specifically about that. But for the education leadership program, the classes are designed on the weekend schedule. So you can really fit it in. It's really flexible, and students noted that they appreciated that. They noted the lifelong connections developed with compassionate and dedicated faculty, which just goes back to the first quote. And as I was saying, I agree with this 100%. I had mentioned to Dr. Leipold before we started the information session, like, it doesn't go unnoted that, I will see Dr. Leipold and Professor McMahon and education faculty responding to emails in the evenings, on the weekends. It just shows their commitment, and they really go above and beyond. And they thoroughly answer any question or any inquiry that students have. So, I think students appreciate that. I know I do personally. And then also, what's most important, the high success rate with immediate job placements. So the education department and faculty will help you with job placement. They are well connected in many schools throughout the education world, and they just have a real talent for noting where students will fit in certain schools and the environment. And so I think that's really appreciated as well. And that's why our alumni, are so happy with the program, with their job placement, because the faculty took time to get to know them, to get to know the school, and they made like a great match. They made a great connection. So that's really important to note as well. And also, you'll be networking with thousands of Iona Education Department graduates who now work as teachers, administrators, and leaders in the field of education throughout the state and the country. So it's just a great support to have. We have this saying here at Iona that Gales take care of Gales, and I think that's really just so true, and it's especially true in the education department. So Without any further ado, I would like to formally introduce Dr. Melissa Leipold, who is the chair and associate professor in the education department and will be overseeing the educational leadership program and also the advisor. So thank you so much for taking the time out to be here with us, Dr. Leipold. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for the beautiful introduction to our department, to the this new program that we're bringing back to myself. So just to offer a little more particulars about the way this program is offered. So this educational leadership program is developed in a format which we like to call the executive educational leadership program, which means that it's a little bit more condensed and maybe a little more intense because it is, the courses are offered in a condensed format. So for instance, what I mean, this coming spring semester, we'll be offering 3 courses. And each course will run over the course of 1 month. So the first course that we offer is Professional School Administrator and Supervisor, and that will meet 2 weekends over the course of February. So for instance, it will be meeting over the weekend of February 5th through the 7th, and then again over the weekend of February 26th to the 28th. And usually the format of meeting is Friday evening in person, Saturday all day, usually also in person, and then Sunday is usually an online component, whether live, something posted, or it's kind of up to the professor's discretion if it's perhaps one-on-one assisting with some assignments. Now, because of the state of our world and remote learning, we're certainly very flexible with that. And we seem to be recognizing that graduate students like the remote format of courses. So we're taking it 1 course at a time, but that's certainly something that will be worked out with the professor, and students always have the option to take these courses remotely. And if it turns out that if all the students enrolled in the course would like to take it remotely, then it will be completely remote, which is absolutely fine. Because again, you know, Iona is really about accommodating the students, right? And working together. It's a lot of teamwork. So the way it would probably be for right now is some sort of remote, maybe hybrid type of learning. But again, it would depend on the students enrolled. And then the second course that we're offering this spring is School Finance, and that will be offered the weekend of March 5th to the 7th, and then again March 26th to the 28th. And all of these dates are noted in PeopleSoft, which is, of course, the program that we use to schedule courses and things like that. And then we'll be offering a third course, the Dynamics of Interpersonal Behavior, in April. And then over the course of the summer, we'll be offering 3 courses as well. However, those will be week intensive courses, where 1 course would be completed over the course of 5 days. And the course meetings would be in the evenings because we do presume that everybody's working. So we would certainly accommodate your schedules. And the assignments would be revised accordingly. So for instance, because these classes are so condensed, there would never be the expectation that you would be writing research papers. Instead, you would be writing policy briefs or summaries, which are documents that educational leaders actually need to be trained to compose as leaders in schools. So for instance, for the first course, Professional School Administrator and Supervisor, one of the assignments would be composing a policy brief where you might identify a problem, some difficulty within your school, and you would come up with different scenarios as far as solutions and write 3 to 4 pages on that particular situation. So all assignments are grounded in theory, however, they're all very practical. And easy to complete within the time frame of each course. So we have kind of arranged this format so that if you do begin this spring, it is possible to complete all courses necessary for this degree by next spring. So it really is kind of like a 1.5 year program. If you do take 3 courses during each of those terms, both the fall or spring summer, fall, and then again in spring. And it culminates in an internship experience. But we presume, of course, that you're most likely teaching in a school and you would use that school's site for your internship experience. But of course, we're able to accommodate students who do not also work in schools, and we'd be able to partner you with the schools so that you would be able to have those hours needed for a school building leader. And once you complete all of the coursework, you would be qualified to take the New York State exam, the school building leader. And that would qualify you to be any type of supervisory or administrative position within a school building. So that might entail the job of a dean or a chair of a department, an assistant principal, a school principal. And all it takes really then is the completion of these 12 courses. 2 of those courses are the internship and the completion and passing of that New York State exam. And then throughout this program, as Lisa had mentioned, even though Professor McMahon does oversee the graduate programs, I would be your sole advisor for the educational leadership program. So once you are admitted to the program and you decide this is the path for you, I would be notified and I would be reaching out to you as your advisor, and we would plan out from beginning to end, you know, your journey through this program and what courses you would be able to take per semester. And I think that kind of wraps up a little bit of the format of the way we offer the program, that it's very user-friendly, very concrete, because the hope of this program is not so much that you have a theoretical understanding of what it means to be a leader, but that you're able to take all of your experience as a teacher, all of your experience from your previous education courses and interactions with teachers and parents and students, and be able to put them into practical use as a school building leader. So I'll turn it back to you, Lisa.
Dr. Leipold, really quick, I just have a question that maybe some other participants haven't thought of or may, you know, just not have asked. But can you speak to the faculty that'll be teaching these couple of courses that are coming up? Because I mean, I know personally like how established and respected and how much expertise they have, but I think it's helpful for other students to know who will be the faculty teaching these courses and do they have experience in leadership and education?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for reminding me of that, Lisa. I get so excited about this program. It was originally why I was hired at Iona. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to say, I think 15, 16 years ago. So the professors of each of the given courses, they're actually handpicked based on their areas of expertise, the years of experience, what their doctorates, what they've earned their higher degrees in. So for instance, Tom Callahan, Dr. Tom Callahan will be the professor of that first course, the professional school administrator and supervisor. And he was actually one of my first ed leadership students here at Iona. And I still remember how impressed I was by his just overall performance and his demeanor and his ability to relate with others and foresight. So he will be teaching that particular class, and for the past several years, he's been on the board. He serves on the board in the Pelham School District right here close by. Prior to that, he was a high school biology teacher. He's also been the head of several teacher unions, and now he's actually the head of the administrative union in Pelham, which is really interesting because he'll be able to bring all of that experience to the table. So he's great, but of course I'm biased because he was also my student.
It's really amazing to see your student now teaching a course in the
Right,
program. I
right,
love it. It just really speaks to, you know, the Iona community and the lifelong experience that you and connections that you really do have here. So that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the second course, which is the school finance course, we have Professor Margaret Kunzio teaching that. And the reason why I asked her to teach that course is because she's actually an elected legislator in the county of Westchester. And this is what she deals with on a daily basis, right? You know, talking about school funding and finance. And she'll be able to bring a lot of practical daily experience to the table for this course. And then the final course we're offering this spring is the dynamics of interpersonal behavior. And we have Jeffrey Cole teaching that course. And he, I mean, obviously everybody I asked, I think is totally amazing, but I know a lot of other people do as well. He used to be in charge of special education here in New Rochelle. But once he had two beautiful girls, he and his wife moved up north a little bit, but now he's in charge of special ed in the district where they live. And he's also an adjunct here, so is Margaret Kunzio and Dr. Callahan. But Jeff Cole brings so much to the table as far as, relating to different populations of people, not only of diverse backgrounds, but, considering students that might have exceptionalities, right? And in the pressures of today's environment, right? How do we look through this new lens, of educational leadership, and especially, trying to compose ourselves and always having the mindset of somehow together this can be achieved, right? And always putting the students first. So these three professors for this coming semester are really excited to be a part of bringing this program back. And we work very closely. I have to say, I speak with Tom, if not on a daily basis, on every other day basis, because right now he and I are actually writing a textbook together for one of our education courses for publisher, which is really exciting. We're composing a new kind of textbook. It's an interactive textbook where every page has QR codes. So we're kind
of course it does.
Yeah,
I know Tom.
Technology, right? So we're very much about user-friendly, practical, and not busy work, but what can we help you with? What skills do you have that we can help hone and practice so that you can be effective leaders when you leave our program?
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I just felt it was really important just to speak to the faculty, because I know how wonderful they are. You know how wonderful they are. Yes. But, we want our students to know. So thank you so much. And now I just want to, and I was also a student in Dr. Callahan's class recently, this past semester, and he just would always talk to me about being so excited about teaching in the educational leadership program. So I know it's going to be a great experience. I'm a little jealous that I don't have the qualifications to be in this program or his class yet, but one day. And so now I just want to talk to you a little bit on the next slide about the semester schedule and points of entry. So obviously right now, upcoming is the spring semester. That's a spring start. That's a February 1st start. So the first class will be that weekend. I believe it's February 5th. And so right now, we're really focusing on getting new students enrolled and registered, and you still have plenty of time to do so. I know a few of you here tonight have recently just been accepted, and some have not applied as of yet. So congratulations to those who were accepted. That's really exciting. That's really great news. And so we just wanted to give you a little bit more information about the program, a little bit more information about the classes, how they'll be structured, when they'll take place. And so I know some of you joined late, so I did record this session, the information session, so feel free to shoot me an email and I can send you the whole recording. And then you can also send it out to any friends or colleagues, like I mentioned, in case they wanted to be here tonight and just weren't able to join us. But if you have not yet applied, send me an email. I'll put my contact information up at the end of the information session. And I'll get you the application link, more information about the program, and get you started so you can enroll for the spring in the next couple of weeks and get you registered so you can start February 1st and then do that first weekend, which is really February 5th for the educational leadership program, but our official start of classes is February 1st. So the process would be, if you have not applied yet, you would apply. And then if you are accepted, you make your deposit. About 24 to 48 hours after that, you would then be able to register for courses, and Dr. Leipold will work with you to give you permission codes for those courses so that you're all set up. And then you can start February 5th, which is really exciting. So like I said, the deposit is $200 just for those of you who have been accepted and want to start in February for that first weekend and get enrolled in the program. And then once we receive your deposit, we'll get you all set up and registered for courses. And so there are other entry points to the program that I will mention in case you're thinking about this in the future, you are able to take summer courses in this program as well. So we do have a date for our summer session 3, which is a July 6th start. Summer 2 sessions to be determined, but they'll probably come out with that date shortly. And then our fall semester typically starts right around August 31st. I know it was delayed a little bit due to the pandemic this year, but if everything goes according to the plan, we start typically right around the end of August. And then we do offer the classes on the evening and the weekends for those of you who we know have other time commitments and are working in a school and teaching. So this is really designed for you to be able to complete the program. And I think that's great, Dr. Leipold, that there'll be, the option to join virtually. I think that's really helpful, especially these days. So really great news to hear that. It is a rolling admission, just in case you were wondering about deadlines. When do I have to get my application in by? When we say rolling, we mean rolling. If it's the day before classes, we will still process your application, get you enrolled. So we don't want to wait till that late, but if we have to, we will work with you. But if you know that you really are interested, this is what you want to do for your future, just please feel free to reach out. I'll get you set up with your application, your acceptance letter, and then get you registered for courses in February. So no set deadline as seen on the slide here. And you can apply for any term. If you don't want to start in February and you want to start in the fall, that's fine too. But I know right now we're working with students who are excited about this and want to get started in February. So that's what we'll be working on for the next couple of weeks. And you can do full or part-time enrollment. You can take as many courses as you want per semester. If you need to take a little break in the summer, that's fine. You don't have to register for the summer courses. This program is a little bit different from our typical education and typical programs at Iona in general, in the sense that, one course goes about 3 to 4 weeks. And then you've completed the course in 3 weeks. So it's not a whole semester long course as typically is. So within the semester, you're taking one course per those couple of weeks. So it's really intensive and you really get the personalized attention on that specific course. So you're not worrying about, oh, what paper do I have due for this class? What's due for this class? It's really just intense, focused in that 3 weeks. And so that's kind of the structure of the classes for the educational leadership program. And so the requirements I will have up again, just wanted to reiterate, we do need your online application. You do need your New York State teacher certification. This one is really important. We need all of your official transcripts from all schools attended. So any work that you've done in your college career, we need transcripts from each institution. So even if you took, college credit courses in high school through an institution, we would need those as well. So we do eventually need the official transcripts, but if you don't have those on hand, or it'll take you a little time to contact the schools, that's fine. If you can go on their website and get a unofficial or a copy downloaded, or contact the registrar's office at where you attended and get me an unofficial copy, I will work with that for your admission purposes until we can get the official transcripts in your file. And then we do ask for a minimum 3.0 GPA, as this is the New York State requirement for graduate programs in education. If you're like really close to this, don't let it deter you. You could still apply. We might be able to work with you, but I did want to note that it is a New York State requirement to have a 3.0 for education graduate programs, which I think, is a good thing. It just speaks to, wanting to recruit the most talented and most passionate and motivated students to, be teachers and work in schools and be administrators. So did want to just mention that, but like I said, if you're close, don't let it deter you. And now on the next slide, which I know a lot of you are curious about or have questions about or want to know about, is tuition and possible scholarships and financial aid to finance your education, to finance the program. I know those of you who are interested kind of know a lot about the financial aid process, how it works, and that, financing your education is really an investment in yourself. So I don't think I have to speak too much on that, but as far as the cost and available scholarships, I did want to get you that information just so you have it and you know what you're looking at. So the cost for education and teaching at Iona is approximately around $1,172 per credit. And so the program is 12 courses, which is about 36 credits. So that's what you're looking at for tuition. And there are loans available through the financial aid office to help you finance this. We know that nobody just has, $40,000 laying around to put to a degree. So that's why you're able to take out loans and then get your degree, advance in your career, get your position, and then pay off the loans monthly or little by little. So it's a really great option that they give graduate students to take loans to be able to finance their education. So we're really grateful for that. But we do have some scholarships that help you out a little bit. And the first one is, and some of these may apply to those who are educators already and teachers already. The first one is the Archdiocese Scholarship. And this is geared towards full-time teachers, administrators, guidance counselors who are employed by Catholic schools in the Archdiocese of New York. So they will receive a tuition scholarship equal to 1/3, which is 33% of graduate tuition, for a maximum of 6 credits per semester, which would be covered in this program. So students can save anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000 if you happen to be employed by Archdiocese School in New York. Next is a much more general scholarship, which may apply to a lot of you, especially if you came from a graduate program in education, especially at Iona, because, as I spoke to the faculty really caring and taking individualized attention with each student, most of the education students in the programs here that I've seen at Iona have a 3.5 or above. And so if you do have a cumulative 3.5 or above from all your college work at the point of admission when you're coming in, this will give you a discount of $500 per 3-credit course. So it takes, $500 off each class, which is really helpful because students can then save $10,000, up to $12,000. So it's really helpful. Also, just wanted to mention, if you happen to be employed by Westchester County, they also give a discount of $500 per 3-credit course. So students can also save this way if they happen to be employed by Westchester County, the government, that is, specifically, not just like an employee in Westchester County. It specifically has to be through the government. And then if you were a Gale and you graduated from Iona, we have Iona College Alumni Scholarship. This is for your, I believe it's for your undergrad degree. I can check and see if it applies to if you did your MSED or your MST at Iona. I think it should. I know it typically for those programs, you have to be undergrad, but I can check on that for you in case, you did your undergrad degree somewhere else, but then came to Iona for your master's. We can look into that for you. And you will receive a 10% discount for Iona students pursuing graduate studies. So students can also save $9,000 to $10,000 if they were a Gale and graduated from Iona. So just another way Gales try to take care of Gales here at Iona. So I will now open it up to questions. If anybody has any questions and answers, we'll be more than happy to answer you right here. You can put it in the chat. You can put it in the question and answer section. Myself and Dr. Leipold will be more than happy to answer those for you. We are on social media, so you can like us, follow us. If you want to take a screenshot of that or jot it down. And then also, like I said, I did want to put up my contact information. So there's a couple things up here. I have my phone number in case you need to reach me, have a quick question, just want to give me a call. You can also shoot me an email. My name is Lisa, so it's L for Lisa, then my last name, which I won't expect you to remember. So you can always just take a screenshot of this. And if it's easier for you to remember, I also oversee the grad admissions email. So if you just remember grad admissions with an S at the end at iona.edu, I'll get the email as well. So either way. And did want to just give folks a minute to ask any questions they might have. So.
And while we're waiting, Lisa, I just wanted to mention too that our past graduates are all employed quite locally in leadership positions, which is great networking. We have had students as far up as, I remember students doing internships up in Dutchess County But for instance, Susan Natali, she was one of our grads. She completed the program right after Tom Callahan did. And she's currently the principal of All Hallows,
Oh,
which is
wow.
a Christian Brothers High School.
Yes.
This is her second year as principal, but prior to that, she was the Dean of Academics at Iona Prep Upper School. And we're also very good friends. We also had John Marash, who he was a stellar student. I mean, they were all amazing students. I remember almost all of them. I'd have to say probably all of them. But he right away out of our program, he became an assistant principal at Rye, in Rye at Resurrection Elementary School. But he was actually so good, and he was originally from Connecticut, that he and his family moved to Connecticut, and right away he found a job. He was actually offered a job in the Greenwich School District as a principal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really quite amazing. And I sometimes, I want to say, we shall pat each other on the back because they always come back and say this program prepared us so well for what we addressed on the job, right? It wasn't totally focused on the theoretical and reading about different types of research, but it was actually about employing the skills that we're developing in real problem solving, everyday problem solving, and getting you ready for what's going to happen in the workplace. And that's what our program is about, because we're all, or have been all, practicing administrators. I was in Catholic schools as well as public schools. I did things from when I was in the Yonkers School District. I scheduled Olive Gorton High School. I was the SASE coordinator while I was an assistant principal there. So I scheduled over 2,000 students to managing budgets and running programs and graduations and communicating with politicians. So we cover all of that, but we have so many great networking opportunities. And that's why I have to say, I think at this time, we have more jobs than we can fill for our graduates, because whenever we make a connection and students find these awesome jobs in schools, that the schools want more of us. And so that's actually a great problem to have, that almost every day I get multiple requests looking for our grads. So that's almost a guarantee, when you come through our graduate program.
That is amazing to know. Thank you, Dr. Leipold. And, just when you were speaking about what you're learning in the classroom being applied to real life and what you'll be dealing with in schools, if my experience in Dr. Callahan's course this past semester is any indication of that, I'm sure that, I can really speak to it, that it really is that, because he taught us multimedia and with technology and how to use technology in the classroom. And it was just so perfect that I took that course like while the pandemic was going on. Especially, I'm sure it's more helpful for current teachers, because they were always just noting in the class, like, thank you, Dr. Callahan, I used this today, or I used this last week, what you showed us, with the QR codes and just the flip grids and all the different technology he showed us. I mean, things from just like Google Earth that you can use in the classroom. It was just like amazing. And it was so helpful to all the teachers who were really just struggling and trying to, take it day by day and go through the changes and where they're going to be open and where they're going to be closed and where they're going to be virtual. And he was just so helpful, especially with like sharing his experience and what was going on in Pelham and what they used and what was effective. So I really do appreciate and understand what you're saying about that. What you'll be learning in the classroom is can be directly applied to your real life situation in your school. And so I think it's great to hear that, there's case studies and kind of problem solving, like what if this problem arises, and I'm pretty sure there are real life problems and issues that arose in schools. So that's really helpful to know, really great to know. So I'm checking and I don't see any questions in the question and answer or the chat. So I'm hoping that just speaks to how informative we were this evening, or that, students will be reaching out to us if they do have any questions. But I did just want to take a minute to thank our participants. Like I said, my contact information is up. You can feel free to reach out to myself or Dr. Leipold. We'll be more than happy to get back to you with a really timely response. And if anybody wants to register and get started for February, shoot me an email and we'll work on that right away. And I also just wanted to take a minute to thank you, Dr. Leipold, for, just taking time out. I know how busy you are and everything you're dealing with. So it was really appreciated on our end for you to take the time. And I know how passionate you are about this program as well. So I know you were happy to do it, but still just wanted to thank you and tell you how much we appreciated it.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And actually, I have my 2 young sons sitting on the, on the floor listening to me, and my dog on the other side. But that's reality. So
yes, exactly. All right. Well, we'll let you tend to them. I just wanted to thank you again. And
thank you, Lisa.
So everybody have a great night. Be safe. And if you need the recording, feel free to reach out and I'll send it.
Actually, Lisa, there was just a question posted in the chat.
Oh, great. Oh, okay. Then let me check that.
Process returning students.
Will there be a step-by-step process for returning students after applying? Step-by-step process for returning students. I'm sorry, Ryan, do you mean, I'm just not sure what you mean by step-by-step.
So maybe, Ryan, maybe you can let me know if this answers your question. So after you actually apply and you, and Lisa gets back to you after a transcript evaluation and you're accepted.
Ryan's actually been admitted, so congratulations to Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I think we spoke over the phone. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. So after applying and after you accept, then I would be in contact with you and I would advise you, I believe, right? Lisa, is the process?
Yeah. So yeah, the next step, Ryan, for you would just be to pay your deposit, the $200 deposit. And so once you pay the deposit, that generates your user ID, your registration, so that you're able to go in and register for the courses. And that typically takes place like 24 to 48 hours after you deposit, is then it's generated in the system, and then you can go in and register. And so this is where you would be in contact with Dr. Leipold after your deposit went through and you can register for courses. She'll give you specific program codes to register for the first course, which is starting February 5th. And I'm hoping that answers your question. Right, how do I pay it and receive an email? Okay, yeah, I can certainly send you the deposit link, Ryan. I know I text you today and you let me know you were interested. So that's great. If you do want to go ahead and deposit, that's amazing news.
Awesome.
So we're very excited to hear that. So I will send you the deposit link right after we sign off, and you can you'll see when you go through the steps. So you'll put in all your information. You can pay by credit card. You will select graduate because when you first log on to pay the deposit, it'll say undergrad and graduate. So just click graduate when you go through and pay, and then you'll get your confirmation email. And if you do it today, I don't know if tonight counts, but like I said, usually in 24 to 48 hours after you pay the deposit, it'll generate your registration. So then you can work with Dr. Leipold. So yay, that's great. That is amazing.
Awesome,
so
Ryan.
So happy to hear that, Ryan.
And then I can address this question from Bianca about this program leads toward the SBL. So it doesn't lead toward an SDL because typically there are a lot more requirements for school district leadership, and that's the SDL cert. And usually doctoral programs will lead to an SDL. So whatever you learn in these courses in preparation for the SBL will prepare you for that. But there's, I believe, I don't know what the requirements are right now in New York State, but typically it's about 10 to 15 more credits and some other more intensive internships. But typically the SDL is associated with doctoral programs. Some master's degree programs do lead to the SDL, but they would be higher credit bearing courses. So we were kind of entertaining that, but maybe in the future we'll pursue that. We just wanted to get started kind of where we left off with the SBL because it was such a successful program, and then maybe explore that for the future. So I hope that answers your question, Bianca. So again, it would be for the school building leadership, which is the SBL. So after taking these courses, you would qualify to take that New York State exam. And you would be able to, be anywhere, anything from a department chair to a school building principal.
Perfect, thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, you're welcome, Bianca. Okay, so if you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in. We'll be more than happy to answer while we have you here.
And also just a little side note, which some people might like too, is well, at Iona, we typically have smaller class size, but of course, because we're just beginning this program again, this coming semester, the class size is going to be very small, which I really like because we really try to take the personal approach. And because the courses are so condensed, you're going to have a lot of one-on-one with your professors, which is great. So you'll have more allotted time, of course. We also have a Christian brother who is joining us from Africa, which is amazing. I remember
That
the
is
last
exciting.
time, I
Yes.
think 8 years ago, we had a priest from India who was with us for a year because they find that coming here to the United States in programs like ours that are condensed, that they go back to their countries really qualified, right, to organize very large school systems, right? So they take this knowledge and actually take it to a much higher level. So I'm just so glad that we'll have him with us as well.
That is certainly exciting. And he's excited about coming. So it
Yeah.
works both ways. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I once again, just wanted to thank all of our participants and thank Dr. Leipold for joining us this evening. Ryan, I'm going to shoot you that email right now with the deposit link. So that's very exciting. And if you have any other questions or just need help throughout the process, just feel free to, you can send me a text back to the number you were texting earlier, or you can shoot me an email. Either one works. So thank you so much to our participants, and thank you again, Dr. Leipold. I hope everybody has a very safe and enjoyable evening, and we will be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Thanks so much.